What's up, players? So those of you guys who watched my last video, the audio was off. I got it set correct right now. It's okay. It's not blaring loud. I apologize for that. But if you've watched my if you st- if you you found my channel early on, you and you've listened and you've watched the majority of my videos. That's happening in like 6 or 7 of my videos. Forgot. I gotta turn the volume mixer from a possible 1 to 100, 0 to 100, all the way down to 1 for the audio not to be stupid loud. It was at 12 out of 100 during that video, and it's like way louder than anything I'm saying. All right, so what you doing, SoCon? What's this video gonna be about? You know what I'm doing? You know what I'm doing? I'm farming. I'm farming Evony content creators for points. Yeah, for the YouTube clicks and likes and views and comments. Yeah, I'm farming Evony content creators. All right, so I just got done watching Genghis's video. I've criticized a couple of content creators. I haven't criticized Genghis yet, but I'm gonna give him a little constructive criticism right now. You need to do this on an Excel spreadsheet, man. You need to do this on an Excel spreadsheet. So on one screen, people can see all of the tavern generals and all their upgrades just on one page, man. I think there's a free version of Excel that there's a online version of Excel you can use for free. Other than that, I believe it costs money. But yeah, there's a web version of Excel that you can use for free. But yeah, I want to talk about the uh, the duty generals, and a couple things I want to say about that. Everyone knows, everyone that's a mid coiner or spends, you know, because this is a highly competitive, pay to win game that seemingly has no top ceiling. Like, I don't know if there's a, multi, 100 millionaire that plays this game. They probably have better things to do, or more likely multiple businesses to manage, if not one, big business. But the only person that's going to hit the ceiling in this game where everything's maxed out, some things you can't even max out because there's no way to even get more copies of the newer generals. But yeah, that's the only person. There is no ceiling for this game. So in order to moderately compete, you know, you have to spend, what would be a crazy amount of money for any other video game on a reoccurring basis. I would say you gotta at least, to compete, to ever make it in All Stars. Like if you're in an older continent, you're probably screwed. I would say you gotta complete the Souls Wishing Pool every event at a minimum. Um, so those people that have spent around that amount of money, maybe you spent $500, maybe you spent $1,000 a month. You've been doing that for a few years. Maybe you've done, one take every 3 to 4 months or something. You know that all these second versions of duty officers, the Genghis talks about all the second versions of duty officers which had a tavern general inside that video I was just looking at. No, I do have one of I have one of the boxes, so let's bring this up instead of looking at them there, because I don't know if I have all the second versions. I have most of them, but I do have one of the officer general boxes. So this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing now. I'm saving them up. I'm saving up the officer general boxes, and I'm saving up the carnival officer general chests. So I have one I haven't gotten the 4 from this event yet, so I'll have 5. And I'm just going to hold on to them until they release the second versions of all those officers. They're going to come out with a Michael the 8th increase and a Stephen the Great second version. I'm going to save them all. And okay, so let's go to all these officers here. So Gangs did a video about all these officers here, except for Hammurabi. I don't think there was the Tavern General of that Academy officer. But as I was saying, I didn't finish the train of thought. For people that have spent an amount of money, for people that have done a cake, several times a year, they know that these generals originally, you could only get them in the Royal Party, which was 4 purchases past completing the cake originally. So it was like $2,400 to get 1 copy. And then they finally had the stockpile tickets, where you couldn't get one of those boxes in any single one event unless you spent over, well, even if you'd have to, in order to get the $400 a day for 3 days would give you all the rewards each day, but you only get 5 double down. So it would take you multiple events at least to get those boxes, but it would still cost you a lot. And then, this is why it was such a screw job. For anyone that obtained any of these generals, was between the time they finally released, like the last one, and the time that they came up with third versions, like brand new versions, there wasn't enough time or ways to obtain any. I mean, you need 16 goddamn copies. All of them were like cake generals, or then like Royal Party. You could get 1. If you spend another $2,000 past the cake, you can get a second one. Woo! We're rolling, boys. There wasn't hardly any time between the releasing of all these second versions of the Tavern Generals for anyone to fully ascend, hardly any of them, before they came out with the third version. So what most people ended up doing was thinking about, what's the next one I get for the most increased versions, for the most increased boss I can get? Okay, I'll get one of these. I'll get one of these. Okay, this guy's first red star gives me the most increased stats. I'll get one more of him. Okay, this guy's second red star, between now I get 7 of them or whatever. Okay, this guy's second red star gives me the most increase. I'll get 2 more of him. And then they come out with third versions. And the third versions are better than like any of them at 7 stars. What a fuck job. What a screw job for, loyal, repeat customers. Like, people want to fully ascend their generals. That's what people want to do. That's what I want to do. People want to increase their buffs for as little cost as possible. But the way they release these generals, like, the smartest thing to do in hindsight, if you could predict the future, would have been to save up all your boxes, not get a bunch of individual ones, and put all those boxes into one. If you're not a rally leader, because the third version of the Archer Tower has rally size capacity, probably the smartest one would have been to put all your boxes into Marisa Nassau. So like, look at the generals I have, and it'll give you an idea of either how many cakes I've done or how many boxes I have I have redeemed certain generals. So I've gotten at least 4 copies of Stilichko. The new Stables officer is just way better, especially if you're doing in-rally mounted attack, which is going to help for all monsters, the Alliance boss, World boss, rankings. So I got 4 copies of Stilichko. New Stables officer, way better. Okay, they don't have a new Archer camp officer. The ones I'm not using, so 4 copies of Ashoka. Hera is slightly better. You know, 2 copies of this barracks one copy of the new rally spot officer. You know, the best thing would have been to you know, 2 copies of the academy officer. I think there's a new academy officer right now, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not quite sure. There's just so many now, but that was the screw job. Like, there wasn't even any time to fully ascend. Then as soon as they started coming out with, you know, 3rd versions, and everyone realized they were going to come out with 3rd versions of everything, you want to talk about buyer's remorse. Anybody that spent anything to ever obtain one of these 2nd versions of an officer ever in the royal party or ever otherwise would have had buyer's remorse, or dang, I should have put all my general copies into fully ascending this one specific one, right? So that's screw job number 1. What's screw job number? Why is that such? Okay, no, this is just one entire. This isn't 2 different screw jobs. This is one entire screw job. Okay, this is one entire screw job. Well, why else was this a screw job? You know why? Because in virtually, I think in every single one of them, in every single one of these officers, you didn't actually get any attack buffs. I mean, there's some debuffs, but you didn't actually get any attack buffs until the 5th red star. The only way you could have gotten to the 5th red star is if you put all your goddamn boxes into one of them. If you're even able to obtain 16 boxes between the period of time they started releasing 2nd versions and the period of time they started releasing 3rd versions, was it even an entire year? Was it even an entire year? Like, they had a specific event, like the Trivia Cat event for Ashoka. Diwali celebration, they had a specific one for Pericles. There's still, like, these events are still coming up, and there's a 3rd version. Like, they couldn't come up with something else to put in the cake. I think that's the only reason why. It's a real stupid reason why. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say about that. I think that's all I want to say about that. But yeah, these carnival boxes and these other boxes, like all my red boxes, I'm gonna go full on Niwa Nagahide. That's what I'm gonna do with all my 3rd version boxes. I'm just gonna give this guy to 5 stars. Attacking troops attack 15%. I'm gonna put everything in Niwa Nagahide, and then I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna put all my original Officer General chests into Maurice of Nassau. I think the only reason why you'd want to, if you had a fully ascended Maurice of Nassau, I think the only reason why you'd want to even consider the 3rd version is if you're like, you know, one of the top 3, you know, alliances in the entire game, if not on your individual continent, and you're the main rally leader, like dependable, like all the time. You have a higher rally size than anyone, and it'll be even higher if you go to the if you go to the 3rd version, because this is probably arguably the best one of the 2nd versions of duty officers. And when I say 2nd versions, I mean that they had a tavern version. So he's real good. And if I could have gotten all those boxes back from all these other ones, I would have put them all into Maurice of Nassau. That's what I would have done personally. But yeah, guys, that's the video. I'm gonna get back to YouTube, see if I can find some more Evony content creators I can farm. Because I got some players in my alliance running rallies. You know what I'm saying? Got the auto rally bus car. Now it's all about farming some YouTube content creators for Evony. Oh yeah. Thanks, Genghis.